Hey guys, in today's tutorial we're going to be replicating the graphics for Voodoo's Fireballs 3D game. It's a fairly simple design, so we should be able to knock this out fairly quickly. So let's get started. So if you have Blender open, first thing we want to do is make sure that we change this from Blender Render to Cycles Render. Next, let's delete this cube and the lamp. So we want to select the cube, click X on your keyboard, and select delete. And we're going to do the same thing for the lamp. Select the lamp, click X, hit delete. Okay, so now what I want to do is set up our camera. So if we want to see what the camera sees, we'll hit 0 on our keyboard, and I'll take us into the camera perspective. So currently it's set to 1920 by 1080. That's great if you're, looking to design for a, console game or anything like that. But since we are designing for mobile, we want to change this to a mobile resolution. So let's change this to 640 for the X and 1136 for the Y, and that gives us a mobile resolution. So now what I want to do is I want a separate view so that I can always see the camera perspective while we're building. So we have this tab over here. We want to close this, so you could click it and drag to the left, or you can hit T on your keyboard to open and close it. And at the top here you have these lines going across, and your cursor will turn to a plus sign. So you want to click and drag to the left. So now we have two windows open, and I'm just gonna, on this window, I'm gonna get out of the camera perspective, hitting 0 on your numpad. And what I want to do is line this camera up on the x-axis. So I'm going to select the camera, and what we need to do is open up the right panel. So you can click the plus symbol, or you can hit N on your keyboard. That opens and closes it. And I want to rotate this camera on the z-axis by 90 degrees. And then I want to drag it over till we get to the X right there. All right, so just bring up our image again. And the first thing we want to create is this circle platform right here. So let's do that, and then we'll create this long platform that connects to it. So in order to add a object, we could hit Shift A on our keyboard, and that brings up the add menu. Or if you have your left panel open, you go to create tab and select it there. So I'm just going to close this, hit Shift A, mesh. And so in order to make that circle platform, we want to choose cylinder. And I'm just going to increase the vertices. So let's open up our left panel again. And I'm just going to change this to about 64. All right, a little smoother. Matter of fact, let's just go to 75, I guess. And as you see, that it makes it a little bit smoother. All right, so now we can close that. And now we need to scale this down. So in order to scale, we hit S on our keyboard. And we want to scale this on the Z axis or Z axis. So let's select Z. And let's just bring this in to about, I guess, right there. Seems pretty good. And I'm just gonna move around. So to move left and right like this, I'm clicking the middle mouse wheel button, holding it in, and just moving left and right. To zoom in and out, I scroll the mouse wheel up and down, and to pan, you hold shift, middle mouse wheel button, and you could move it up and down. So this looks a little small based on our preview. So I want to do is move this back some, and let's scale it out. So hit S, and let's bring this out more. Looks kind of big in the preview. So looks about good. I want to move the camera over to the left more. So zoom out, select the camera, and let's align that right there. And then let's push this back a little. Okay, perfect. So next, let's add a material to this. So in the preview it's white. So with this selected, let's move over to our material tab. So it's this circle right here, and click new. Let's rename this to circle platform. And up here, let's also change the name from cylinder to circle platform. All right. So by default, it's already white, so we're good there. And let's just see what this looks like rendered. So if we select here and select rendered, obviously something's wrong. It's just dark, and that's because our scene is dark because we got rid of the lamp and there's no light shining on the object. So let's go back to material tab, and let's add our light source. So let's hit Shift A, mesh, and let's add a plane, and let's scale this out. So hit S, let's make it 3 for now, and accept it, and let's move this up past our camera view for now. Move it up there, and then let's give this a material. So select new. Let's rename this to light, and also let's rename this to light as well. And then we want to change this from diffuse to an emission, and we want to increase the strength of this to about, let's just say 4. All right, so now if we go back to rendered, we should have this plane emitting light down onto the platform. So let's go to rendered, and now we have light shining on it. So because it's directly on top, it's shining directly on top here, and then you have the shadows on the side over here. So we'll fix this later. So let's just go back to our material, and let's add that long platform. So let's hit Shift A. Let's add a cube this time. All right, and let's make it the same height as our circle platform, which is 0.180. So let's select the cube, and let's scale on the Z axis. Let's go down to 180. So you could just do it this way, or you just type it in here, 0.180, and there we go. And now we need to make this longer on the X axis. So on the X axis over here, let's just change this to, let's try 4. All right, it's a little too big. Let's try 3. Okay, and then we could drag this back some, and looking at the render view, it looks like it's too high. So right there, I guess it is perfect. And let's bring it in some, so it's too wide. So on the Y axis, let's do 0.7, see what that looks like. And I think that will do it. Just move this around. Sorry, my mouse is acting up. And to unselect this, just click A. And it looks pretty good to me. Okay, so next let's create our rings. So to do that, let's add a cylinder. So Shift A, mesh cylinder. Let's bring this up so we can see the whole thing. And let's scale it down to the same size as our platform. So on the Z axis, 0.180. And what we need to do is create that inner portion of the ring. So there's if you play the game, basically the ring has a opening in it, so we want to add that same opening. So let's go into edit mode, and you can select edit mode from down here. So click object mode, and then you have edit mode, or you can hit tab to go into edit mode, to switch between edit mode and object mode. And we want to click the face, so select faces here, and let's click this top face, and let's delete it, and let's select faces. And the same for the bottom, select it, hit X, delete faces. So then let's hit A to select our cylinder, and hit E to extrude, and then S to scale, and that will allow you to extrude that inner portion any size you want. I'm gonna save that right there, and let's get out of that by hitting tab, and now we have this inner ring. All right, and then we could drop this down onto the platform, and then let's get a top view to center it. Think about right there is good. Yep. All right, so we have this ring. Looks, guess that's good. And then we're gonna add a material to this. So let's click new material, and I'm just gonna call it ring white, because I'm gonna make it white. And yeah, so then we need to start building on this. So let's select this ring, let's duplicate it by hitting Shift D, hit enter, and then drag it up. And then I just want to get a view so I can see if it's hidden, bottom surface. And then we want to change this color from white, so let's remove this white material, and let's create a new one for it. Hit new, and I'm just gonna make this ring purple, but you can make it any color you want. So I'm just gonna call this ring purple. And then also what I want to do is change the names here to line up. So this is ring purple, this cylinder is ring white, this is our straight platform. Okay, just so we know where everything is. So select here our purple ring, and I'm just gonna, under color, choose a purple color, and I think that's fine. But like I said, all of these materials, you can make it whatever color you want. I advise you to do that, to play around with it. And then all we're gonna do is duplicate and move up to build out our ring tower. So select here, duplicate, enter, drag up. Let's see if I get a better view. All right, and duplicate, drag up. And I'm just gonna speed through this, but you want to keep building up till you get past the camera view right here. All right. Okay, so should have that completed now. So as you can see, I just went as high as the camera could see, and should have something similar to this. Let's just see what this looks like rendered really quick. Not bad. You see I have a gap here. It's just fine. I'm not worried about it. And let's just bring up our reference image. All right, so next thing you can see, they have very faintly, they have this like circle ring going around. I'm just gonna create one of those, and then we'll create our character, and then we'll create our cannonballs. All right, so let's minimize that. I'm gonna get out of render mode by hitting Shift Z. Okay, so to create that inner ring or outer ring, what we're gonna do is the same thing like we did here. So Shift A, mesh, cylinder. Could drop this down to on the Z-axis to 0.1A like we did before. Let's just bring this up some. I'm gonna move it over so we can see. And again, let's go into edit mode. Make sure we have our faces selected. Select the top face. Let's delete that. Put X. Faces. Select the bottom. X. Faces. Let's delete it. Let's select everything. Let's extrude and then scale inward. So I want to make it skinny. So right there. And let's go back into our object mode. And what we want to do is change the color. Let's add the material first. So it was like a blue color. So hit new material, blue ring. And up here, I'm just going to change this to blue ring. Just good to get in the habit of naming everything. And then we can scale this on the X and Y axis. Doing here, or you can just hit S and drag it up. So I'm just gonna go to 2, just to double the size of it and bring it over about right there. And then hit S to scale, and then we could bring it in to about right there. I think that's about even. Let's drag this down to about right there, and then let's add our blue color, like a light blue, and then you could make it even lighter. Drag this up, yeah. So I like that, and then just try to make this even as possible. And I think I might scale it up a little bit more to the outsides. Okay, yeah, looks good to me. Let's just drag it down right there. Okay, and next let's create our character, which is basically a cube. So let's go to Shift A, mesh, cube. I'm gonna drag this over and let's just scale the whole thing down. So S, just make this small, like right there. And I'm gonna come over here a little bit, get a better view, and just name this player. And let's add a material. Just call it player, and it's like a grayish color. So let's go here, and to do gray, you just drag this down. So I think that's good. And if you look at the camera, you can see we're out of it. And what I want to do is make him a little smaller. So I'm gonna scale him think on the x-axis. Yep. Make them like that. And then we're gonna duplicate it. So actually, before we duplicate it, let's see how tall he is. So yeah, it's fairly tall. I'm gonna bring that down also. So scale Z to make him a little smaller. Bring him down. Okay. And then let's duplicate, Shift D, Enter. Drag this out a little bit, and let's scale on the Y-axis. Scale Y, so SY. Bring this in. Right there. And what we want to do is join these two together. So we have this one already selected. So let's hit Shift, select this one, and then Control J to join them. So now they move as one. And we're gonna change the camera angle a little bit after this. Okay, cool. So now let's add our spheres. As you see, they have two shooting towards the ring. So Shift A, Mesh, and then you want to do a UV sphere. And it looks a little rough, as you can see. So what we do is add a modifier. I want to add a subdivision surface. And then let's bring up our left panel, T, and go to Tools, and we want to smooth the shading. So now it's nice smooth sphere we have here. And we want to scale this down. So S, make him right there. See how he looks. And let's add a material to him. So material tab. Before we do that, let's name him Cannon 1. And new material, Cannonball. So I should have named it. And also let's make it gray. Okay, let's zoom out just to see how this is looking. Alright, looks good to me. Shift D to duplicate, Enter, drag them over more. Alright. I mean, yeah. Let's see what this looks like rendered. So select here, rendered. And this is bothering me a little bit, but I'll just leave it for now. And I want to bring this down a little bit more. So let's get out of render, back to material, select the blue ring. And I want to select 2. .7. See what that looks like. Okay. And so let me just check the rendered view again. I mean, this looks pretty good. All right, so just check our reference image again one more time. And so let's add these kind of like pillars, and let's add, I'm not gonna add the actual water effect. We'll just add a plain, a colored plane to the bottom. So let's do that. So let's go back to material, and so let's add our plane first. So Shift A, mesh plane. Let's scale that out to say 8. All right. And let's drag him down a little bit. Sorry, my mouse is bugging out. All right. And then let's add those pillars. So Shift A, let's add a cube. Let's bring them down, scale them down. So let's hit S to scale. And select it right there. So move it over. And I want to make it a little, maybe a little skinnier. So on the Y. Okay, let's add a material. Well, let's name it, and then add a material, cube, and call it pillar, and add a material, pillar, and let's make this also a gray. All right, and then we want to do a Shift D to duplicate, enter, and we're just gonna drag them over to the side. And then what I want to do is just make sure that they are close to top pillar, top platform. All right, now let's zoom out. And we actually need to give our plane a color, so let's select the plane, let's add a new material. I'm just gonna call it floor. I don't know, maybe could make this any color. Let's try a light blue, very light blue. And I want it to like intersect with the pillar, so I'm gonna just drag it up right there. All right, so let's see what we have. All right, not too bad. So next, what I want to do is let's play with the lighting a little bit. All right, let's get out of that. Let's scroll out. I'm gonna rotate. I want to move the light back. I want the sign on the front of the these objects here. So let's make it a little bigger. So let's scale this to about 5. Let's rotate it. They go on the Y. Let's try 60. All right, let's move behind the camera. And on this left camera view, I'm just gonna hit Shift Z to show it rendered. All right, and I mean, when it comes to lighting, you can add as many lights as you want to. I actually want to play with this camera a little bit. I want to change the angle. So let's move the camera back. Let's move the light back some more. Let's move the camera back to right there. And then I want to select the character, move him to right there. The sphere, move it to like right there. And now ball right there. All right. Also want to change this background. So to change the background, let's click this world right here. Click use nodes. And let's change the background color. So definitely want to brighten it up. And I think, I'm just use soft gray But again, feel free to use any color that you guys want to use. And yeah, so I think we're done. I mean, pretty simple design. Next, let's just fully render this to see how gorgeous it's gonna look. So I want to open up another window. So let's just stop this render. So Shift Z to get out of render mode for there, and let's go to our camera and scroll down to sampling. And for the render sample, I'm going to increase it. So the higher the samples, the better the quality. So I'm just going to do 250. We don't need anything crazy. And I'm going to select over here, and I'm going to drag down. So now we have a new window. And I'm going to select here, and we're going to go into UV image editor. And for our camera, we're going to do a full resolution. So make this 100%. So we're going to, the resolution is going to be 640 by 1136. It was at 50%, so it did half of that resolution. So I want to just do a full resolution. And then we're just going to come to the top here and hit render image. Scroll out a little bit. And depending on how powerful your machine is, this could take a while. Have a more powerful machine, the faster it will be. So I'm just going to speed through this. Okay, so now that we're fully rendered, I mean, this just looks absolutely beautiful. So what we could do is save this. Click here at image, go to save image. No, save as image, and just call this Fireballs 3D mockup. And I'm gonna save it to my desktop and save as image. And I'm gonna open that up so you guys can see. And yeah, so definitely should have fixed that. But other than that, I mean, this is just beautiful. Thank you guys. Please like and subscribe. Feel free to share my video if you liked it. See you in the next tutorial.